Part 1. The importance of food safety. You'll find out how many Americans are affected by foodborne illness nationwide. We'll meet an environmental health inspector and discuss how cleanliness is a key factor in his work. Every kitchen requires a person in charge, and we will introduce a PIC to talk about their responsibilities. Then we'll focus on who is at risk, where we learn which segments of the population are most at risk for foodborne illness or injury, and how you can help keep them safe. Without proper food handling practices, the public becomes at risk for foodborne illness or injury from hazards in the foods they consume. Anyone who's had food poisoning or a foodborne illness or injury knows it's an unpleasant experience. But with estimates that about 48 million Americans get sick, with 128,000 hospitalized, and over 3,000 deaths annually from unsafe food nationwide, it's important to remember that following food safety rules saves lives.
Asked Zach Manning, an environmental health inspector for Lane County in Oregon, to tell us about his role in maintaining public health and what he looks for during his inspections of restaurants and food service facilities.
The most important thing is this restaurant clean?
If you have a dirty restaurant, that tells me a lot. That means there's miscommunication, the restaurant is unorganized, and there is a lack of effort being put forth. This all falls on the person in charge. Cleanliness is key to any restaurant and kitchen.
A dirty, disorganized kitchen is less likely to be following good food safety practices. The second thing Zach looks at is the competence of the person in charge.
A person in charge that is competent and knowledgeable is required in all restaurants at all times. If I do not have a knowledgeable PIC, it makes my job very challenging ensuring food safety.
A person in charge, or PIC, must be on the premises during all hours of operation and must know the food code and procedures used in the establishment. They should be able to answer all employee questions regarding food safety and provide training on how to perform jobs correctly.
As the person in charge, I'm responsible for all the food safety and sanitation in the department. I'm responsible for all the food that comes in, as well as all the meals that go out.
Food safety is everyone's business. If the public feels unsafe, the entire industry suffers. The general public needs to have trust that the establishments they patronize follow the basic food safety guidelines. But no matter what precautions are taken to ensure their safety, certain segments of the population are still more prone to becoming sick or experiencing worse than normal symptoms from foodborne illness. It's easy to remember how to identify highly susceptible populations by using the acronym YOPI. The Y stands for children younger than 5 years old. O is for older than 65 years of age. P is for pregnant women. And I stands for those that are immune compromised, meaning having a serious illness like cancer, HIV, diabetes, or other conditions, as well as those prescribed certain medications.
Our compliance rules are really geared towards the susceptible populations, so by following basic food safety rules, we can mitigate any negative impact on those people at risk.
Because of people in the YOPI category, extra caution needs to be exercised when dealing with undercooked meats, raw oysters, undercooked eggs, sprouts, as well as unpasteurized milk or juices. Before we move on to some facts about the importance of food safety, in the U.S., there's an estimated 48 million cases of foodborne illness or injury, resulting in over 3,000 deaths annually. What is the most important factor in food safety? Cleanliness, according to our environmental health inspector, because an unclean restaurant or kitchen is often a sign of larger potential health hazards. A person in charge is required at all times to ensure proper food handling practices are being followed. We learned the acronym YOPI. That stands for young, old, pregnant, or immune compromised, and helps us remember the types of people who are most at risk for foodborne illness or injury. Finally,
A clean and orderly kitchen is a safe and professional kitchen. With rigorous and frequent cleaning procedures, you can greatly reduce the risk of foodborne illness and make your health and safety inspections a breeze. You never know when the health inspector will visit, so restaurant managers should approach everyday cleaning as if they were expecting a health inspection that same day. If you don't allow grime to build up, your daily cleaning list can be completed quickly. Check your inventory of cleaning supplies on a regular basis. It's also a good idea to make sure that your employees who use disinfectants and other cleaning chemicals can read and understand the labels. It is essential to properly clean commercial ovens, not only for food safety reasons, but also to ensure the oven is performing at its best and to avoid smoldering food particles contaminating the food. Every day, kitchen staff must wipe up spills inside the oven immediately, remove all food crumbs and debris from the oven interior, clean the oven interior with mild detergent soap solution with a cloth or low scratch or light duty scouring pad. Using the right tools like the low scratch scouring pad, you can clean oven racks easily without needing to soak them. Abrasive cleansers and brushes can damage the oven's finish and cause the exterior to corrode, so make sure you're using the right products for the job. Don't forget the oven hood. Often overlooked, hoods get coated in particles of grease, food, and smoke and require a degreaser to remove residue. Grease traps must be regularly emptied, then cleaned with degreaser wipes. The hood's interior and exterior must also be cleaned.
Very important to wash your hands properly to help stop bacteria from spreading. This is how you do it. Wet your hands under warm running water and add soap. Rub your hands together. Wash the back of both hands, include the fingers. Interlock your fingers and rub again. Rub around the thumbs and the fingertips. Rinse your hands and dry thoroughly. Turn off the tap with a towel and throw away. Cross-contamination happens when harmful bacteria are spread onto foods from other foods, surfaces, hands or equipment. Raw food can contaminate surfaces and equipment. Using clean equipment and utensils each time you prepare food will help prevent cross-contamination. Always wash your hands after handling raw food and before preparing ready-to-eat foods. Always use clean equipment and utensils when preparing ready-to-eat foods. Sometimes you'll need to use separate equipment to prevent cross-contamination and keep food safe. Use one set of tongs or utensils for raw food on the grill. And a different set for the food once it is cooked. It is essential that you keep pests out of your premises. Pests spread harmful bacteria and cause damage. It is important to check regularly for signs of pests. Look for damaged packaging, droppings, live or dead insects. Throw away any food which could have been touched by pests. You should also wash and disinfect any surfaces which may have been touched by pests. A torch can be useful to help you check properly. No pests have been found today. If you do find evidence of pests, call your pest contractor immediately. Food covered helps protect it from harmful bacteria and from objects or chemicals getting into the food. In this kitchen, there are separate cling film dispensers that are used for raw and ready-to-eat foods to help prevent harmful bacteria spreading. Always store cooked foods above any raw foods in fridges to help prevent harmful bacteria spreading from raw foods to ready-to-eat foods. Staff must be fit for work at all times. This means they must not be suffering from any illness which could cause a problem for food safety. Any member of staff who has vomiting and/or diarrhea should report it to their manager and go home immediately. Staff who have had vomiting and/or diarrhea should not return to work until they have had no symptoms for 48 hours. Any staff who are ill should go home immediately. Remember, you need to stay at home for 2 full days after symptoms have stopped.
Cleaning and sanitizing are not the same. Cleaning uses soap and water to remove dirt and food from surfaces, while sanitizing uses chemicals or heat to kill germs. Remember that surfaces that look clean may still have germs that you cannot see. Sanitizing reduces these germs to safer levels. Food contact surfaces should be washed, rinsed, and sanitized after each use to remove germs that can cause illness. Chemical sanitizers must be mixed following the label's directions, and soap should never be added to sanitizers. Use test strips to make sure the sanitizer is not too strong or too weak. Change the sanitizing solution often because grease, dirt, and food particles make the sanitizer less effective. Store wiping cloths in clean sanitizer.
The most common chemical sanitizer used in food establishments is a bleach solution made by mixing 1 teaspoon of unscented bleach with 1 gallon of cool water. Use a different wiping cloth for cleaning up after raw meat, and use different cloths for food and non-food contact areas. Wash and rinse dirty wiping cloths before putting them back into sanitizer. Cleaning kitchen machinery as needed is part of preventing cross-contamination. Follow these steps for your safety as well as the safety of your customers whenever you are cleaning equipment. First, unplug equipment. Make sure hands are dry first. Disassemble. Wash removable parts in dish machines or 3-compartment sink. Wash and rinse stationary parts. Sanitize food contact surfaces with sanitizer. Air dry before reassembling without touching food contact surfaces.